I think this is about 6 o'clock now. Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody ready?
Yes,
Laura?
sir.
Yeah, everything turned on. Can you check with Laura or David? Oh,
Hold on 1 second.
thank you. I got it. Okay. Today, the April 13, 2020 at 6 p.m. I'm the mayor of Harlem City. Call this meeting in order. At first, we have the work session, but at this moment, there is no citizen sending any email on comment or anything about that. Therefore, we have nothing on citizen and forum. By the way, this is our first regular meeting. Uh, we had one last week, but I hope everybody uh, join the meeting at home. Have to understand very hard to do this when we don't see each other in face. Thank you, IT, especially Laura, David. He stand behind Laura right now and do a good job and make the city running like normal. Uh, you know why we have to do this, because COVID-19, we try to give ourselves a distance. So you are at home, need to respect social distancing. That's the only one way to save your life and save your neighbor, your family life. I appreciate that. And as you know, Harlem City on way comply with the state and especially Tarrant County. Therefore, anything change Harlem City, I will discuss with our staff, you know, like council member and especially Rick Fair, the city manager, and assistant city manager, Sidana Fao, try to do to see what is the best for Harlem City. So be patient with us. Tonight, the meeting will be a little bit different. We start a work session at 6 o'clock. And after that, if there is an executive session, yes, we go to executive session next. But even we come out early, there is no break. So if you are at home, uh, join the work session at this moment, do not turn up your TV because we come right back after the executive session. I know it's dry strand, but you know, for a couple of meetings, you will get used to it. You know, you don't see our first meeting, we learn a lot from how to do meeting on computer. And Ms. Redfeld, you have anything to tell the people now?
No, sir. We can go in executive session when you guys are ready. And then, of course,
Okay,
like you said, we'll come back for the regular session as soon as that's over.
okay. At this moment, I will close the work session, and we are going to the executive session based on the Chapter 551 of Texas Government Code on the Section 551.071 and 551.072 at 6:03. We will be back after executive session. Please do not stay away from your computer or whatever. You will not see us. Thank you. I believe we have to sign up, right?
So now we go to the other meeting forum.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes. We have
Right
to.
now? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Laura.
For those of you that are staying with us, I will not be closing the Zoom meeting. You can go ahead and stay on until they get back from their executive session.
Okay, let me see.
Thank you. I was about to ask you that.
Laura, can you hear me? Laura.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you well.
Okay, thank you.
Can you hear me, Wayne?
What's that? Ricky, can you give us a 3 count? Ricky, can you hear us?
I'm not sure that we can hear each other yet. I don't know if IT's got us off or not.
Ricky, can you
I
hear
can
us?
hear you, Rex.
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Are we here? You have Susan? Suzanne?
I'm
No?
here, but you can't see me.
I just cough, not a virus. Hi, Susan. Okay, let's see. Miss Fell. On. Well, we done pretty good. Come back fast.
Big screen. Do you have headphones? No, I just.
We could hear Rex.
He's having problems hearing everyone else.
That's not a good thing.
I'm gonna get you out of the meeting and get you back in.
Okay. Okay, now can you hear me?
Everybody here?
Yeah, we could hear you, Rex.
Okay. Right now we are ready. You want to wait for Shidana? Oh, no. Okay. At this time.
I got you. I got you recording, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, ready. At this time, 7:01 a.m. Today, the April 13, 2020, I call the regular session in order. As first, I would like to invite Council Member Marian Hillier for invocation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Please bow your head. Lord, hear our prayers tonight to give us the strength and faith to know the trials we face today will pass and our nation will survive and recover. Thank you for giving our first responders and all the brave ones who continue to serve in the many and various ways to assist in our survival. Give us all the strength to use our wisdom and caring to support one another through this crisis. We ask for your continued love and support. We ask for your blessings in all we do. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Council Marian Hillier. At this, like you said, so far we have difficult to sign in, sign out, and only one expert here is Council Member Walter Grove. The rest of us just play with computer, but we have no experience. But this is second meeting, and I feel like everybody already have training, and later on you got certificate for that, right? Okay. By the way, thank you, Council Member, all of you present today, and our staff. Thank you, Rex, and your men have been working hard even on the very tough situation. And one more time, I call everyone, listen to our meeting tonight, keep social distance, very important, okay? Save your life, save our life. The next item will be consent agenda. The item number 1, the minutes. Okay, and number 2, moving services. Go ahead, Councilman Weiss. Go ahead, man.
Make a motion that we approve the consent agendas, item 1 and 2.
Okay, we got 1 and 2, and now Council Thompson.
That would be for a second, Mayor.
We got the second, and please register your vote. Ricky. Okay, we got unanimous approved for both item 1 and 2.
Mayor, Susan So wants to discuss.
Go ahead, Susan.
Item 2 is the mowing services contract. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, well, were we not going to put a stipulation regarding the contract as we make that motion? Because we don't know if the correct verbiage is in there, do we?
Council Weiss, make correction or stipulation this?
I believe Sedana said it's probably already in that contract, and they make sure it's in the contracts whenever they do that. So, and these.
I was also told that code protects us with that as well, that there's some codes that directly apply to that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Are you okay, Susan? Council Vincent? I'm sorry, Council So. Susan, you want to say something?
Well, well, I haven't heard definitively that that verbiage is in the contract yet. So maybe I'm not understanding correctly, but am I hearing that if we can go ahead and approve this, but somebody will ensure that the correct verbiage is in there regarding picking up trash before mowing and if necessary after mowing?
That and Sedona also just said code also has some things in there that they can help take care of, make sure things are done correctly.
And the answer to that is yes, we will.
Thank you.
Yes, just like Rex told us before, some of the trash visually, some is not. So if there is a lot of junk again, then Sedona taking care of them. Would you please? Thank you. Go ahead, Councilor Van Zandt.
I just want to say how grateful I am that we have a staff who's working to lower that expense. And for Ed Arthur, Christy Pruitt, I know with Greg, all the others that have to take up the extra slack so that we can cut that price. I really appreciate that.
Any more comment? And if not, we already have the first and the second. And please register your vote for the item. Okay, both item 1 and 2 unanimous approved. Thank you. We are moving to regular agenda, item number 3, interlocal agreement. John?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, loudly.
All right. Back in July of last year, City of Fort Worth approached me about reconstructing Selma Street and the infrastructure within it. As it turns out, Selma Street's one of the many streets on their 2018 bond package. And the length of Selma Street that we're talking about is between Beach Street and Britain Street in their city. And that actual length, the majority of the length is actually in our city, in Haltom City. Being that they approached me in July, it was obviously too late as part of our budget process for the current fiscal year. But at the same time, we did go out and we investigated our sewer and our water main. Our sewer main's clay, it should be replaced. The water main doesn't have any fire hydrants once you get west of Beach Street. So it really needs to have fire hydrants. Fort Worth, if we can add this street with Fort Worth's package, there's obviously some economies of scale. And so upon looking into it, our biggest concern was, yes, on the staff level, we wanted this done, but we wanted it done economically. And so we looked at ways to doing this. After meeting with the finance director and the city manager at the time, we felt comfortable that as long as we could keep our expenses under $100,000 a year, that we could afford it. Consequently, we drafted an interlocal agreement with the city of Fort Worth. Their attorney reviewed it, our attorney reviewed it. At this time, both staffs are comfortable with the agreement, and would recommend that y'all go ahead and approve this interlocal agreement with the city of Fort Worth.
Reckless, I ask you this. Even we can spend less than $100,000 a year, but what is the total cost? We can't spend every year, you know.
Right. The total cost, a very conservative estimate, is $700,000. So at $100,000 a year, that would be 7 years.
That's mean they have to take like 7 years to finish the project, right?
No, they'll finish the project probably sometime next year. It's just so if essentially the city of Fort Worth would be loaning us the money. If it comes in at 550,000, then we pay them 100,000 a year, and that last year 50,000. So
is that without in-street, or that we have to pay them extra money for that, or no?
We're only paying for our portion. In fact, the way the interlocal agreement is set up is we're doing it by unit price. So whatever the amount of sewer is in Haltom City, that's what we pay for. Same thing in terms of the paving.
Is that the street alongside of the 121, right?
No, it's immediately west of Beach Street, south of 28th Street, south of the Quick Trip, a few streets south of the Quick Trip.
Okay, I remember that. Councilor Van Zandt, you have any question, ma'am?
You took care of it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any more question from council? If not, go ahead, this item ready for motion. Council Weiss,
Make a motion that we approve the interlocal agreement between City of Fort Worth and Haltom City.
yeah. Council Walter Grove.
Ask for a second.
Okay, we got a second. Please register your vote. Okay, item number 3, unanimous approved. Thank you. And we go to number 4, reschedule May election to November. Ms. Fell, go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. If you remember, council meeting, due to this COVID situation, and at the suggestion of the governor, we voted to move our local election, our May election to November election. Now that is also with the situation that if the governor allowed another date between May and November, we'd be able to consider that. But thus far, that date has not been, that's not been an option. If it is, we'll come back. But right now, it's just, this is to move by resolution to move our election date till November.
Okay, and any question from council? Go ahead, ma'am. Council Van Zandt.
All right, so moving the election to November, would all the political signs need to come down until a later date?
No, they would not. Candidates can leave the signs up if they want to leave them up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Council Marianne Hillier. Go ahead, ma'am.
Come back to me in just a moment, please. Oh, I wanted to ask about this. How does this affect the term of the current council member? So, and then how will we get back into the regular schedule of terms from May 2 years to the second May? Because bringing them in November, would those people just serve like a year and a half rather than a full 2 years?
Yes, that's correct. The current council members are having their terms extended in November. Council members continue to serve until their successor is duly qualified by law. And that won't occur until we have an election and the citizens tell us who they want to replace the current council members. Then when the new council members are elected in November, they will effectively be serving a 1.5 year term instead of 2-year terms. And their term will expire in May of 2022.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Council Walter Grove.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I imagine anybody that has signs out will probably start pulling them up because they're not going to survive the summer. So the heat will get them.
Okay, thank you. And any more question? Okay, if not, this item number 4 ready for motion. Council Walter Grove.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution Romeo-2020-014-01, rescheduling the May 2nd election to November 3rd, 2020, or an alternative election date if the governor allows it.
Thank you, sir. And Susan Saul, ma'am.
That would be for a second. Thank you, Mayor.
We got a second. Please register your vote, Council. Item number 4, unanimous approved, and thank you so much. Now we move to number 5, Ethics Commission ordinance. Ms. Farrell.
Yes, sir. Well, first, let me just start off by recognizing a group of very civic-minded citizens who worked really hard with staff and our city attorney's office to develop a really solid policy. These things are never easy, and they require countless hours and many meetings to formulate so that we don't create problems as we go about solving problems. These citizens worked on this policy for approximately 9 months, giving up many of their evenings to ensure a better tomorrow for Haltom. They are Suzanne Norris, Lisa Mays, Don Lemaster, Penny Clowers, Wayne Clowers, Britt Ford, and of course, our Mayor Pro Tem Lynn Thompson served as a council liaison for this. And so we just want to thank them. I think that probably most appropriate, since this is an ordinance and worked with the city attorney's office so much on this, that Wayne will explain how this came about and what we hope to accomplish with this.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Well, the starting point of this was that in May of last year, the citizens at the election voted to amend the charter to require the creation of an ethics commission. And we already have in Haltom City a code of ethics that applies, but the ethics commission is now required to be created in order to investigate and make recommendations to the city council whenever there's a complaint under the ethics code that's filed against a city council member, a board and commission member, or any officer who is appointed by the city council. The ethics commission serves that role for those individuals. If there's a complaint under our ethics code filed against a city employee, that will still be determined by the city manager through the process that we have in place for employees. So the ordinance council will be acting on tonight on first reading is one where we would appoint an ethics commission to be composed of 5 members and 2 alternate members. So 5 regular members will be appointed, 2 alternate members. Each of them would be appointed to 2-year terms, and they could serve a maximum of 2 2-year terms. So the maximum length of time on the commission for any individual would be 4 years. The Ethics Commission will be subject to the Open Meetings Act, so we will post all of their agendas 72 hours in advance, just like we do other boards and commissions. And there will be public meetings that the citizens can attend. Now, the Ethics Commission will meet only when there's a complaint filed to be investigated and a determination is required to be made. And again, the Ethics Commission serves the purpose of hearing complaints, determining whether or not they are in violation of the ethics code. And if so, then they will make a recommendation to the city council to make a final decision on what to do about the complaint. The Ethics Commission will also work with your newly appointed civil service director to determine whether or not investigations need to be done or whether or not they can be handled by the commission itself. It's important to note that under this ordinance, any person can file a complaint alleging that there's been a violation of the code of ethics by an employee of the city or by a city council member or board and commission member. That complaint would be filed with the city secretary's office on forms provided by the city secretary. The complaint would have to be notarized, and the complaint would have to provide supporting documentation or be supported by firsthand knowledge. After that happens, the city secretary will review the complaint for completeness, and if it's complete, then it will be turned over to the Ethics Commission for review. And the Ethics Commission will, again, conduct an investigation if necessary, or if not, they'll schedule it for a public meeting to determine whether or not there's been a violation of the ordinance. If the Ethics Commission determines that there's no violation of the code of ethics, then they will dismiss the complaint. If, however, they find there has been a violation, then they will make a recommendation to the city council, and the city council will schedule it for a public meeting and will make a final determination on what to do about that complaint. That's a quick overview of the ordinance that the council's got on the agenda tonight. Now, if the council wants to act on this ordinance tonight on first reading, then we have a preliminary step that needs to happen, and that is at the last meeting, the council voted to table this ordinance until April 27th. So if we want to hear the ordinance tonight, then we would first need a motion to remove the ordinance from the table and consider it tonight. And that would have to be seconded, and a vote would be taken, Mayor, to determine whether or not to remove the ordinance from the table. If a majority of the council is in favor of doing that, then the next step would be for the council to go through discussions of the ordinance and make a motion to approve or deny the ordinance tonight. Any questions?
Ma'am?
I was going to make a motion to bring it off the table.
Councilor Thompson,
That would be for a second, Mayor. Thank you.
Rick, Suzanne want to say something? Suzanne?
Hello. I just wanted to thank the council for helping us as we went through this last 9 months. We worked hard to try to make it fit our city. We looked at other cities, but we wanted to make it fit our city. And so I think it's a good ordinance. And I hope that you're pleased with it.
Thank you.
Councilor Marion Healy?
Yes, I just want to praise the committee as well. They graciously invited me to attend a couple of their meetings, and I was so inspired by how they were so solidly into the problem and looking for the best way to do it, as Suzanne said, that fits our city. And they just discussed it from every way that you can possibly think of discussing it. And legal was there to help us. And this is the product, and I'm very proud of it. You can't write a first ordinance and expect that it's going to be absolutely perfect forever. And I'm sure at some point down the line, we'll find little things that we want to modify. But they have done an outstanding job now, and I totally support it and thank them for doing all the hard work.
Any more comment? Okay, this item ready for vote.
Well, okay, we're voting on tabling it, correct?
Yeah, you want to make,
Take it off the table.
Take it off the table.
yeah, but go ahead, vote.
So you would vote yes if you want to consider the ordinance tonight.
No. Yes for the table it,
No, untabling.
untable it.
Yes.
Okay, make a motion again. I lost you from here.
I make a motion that we take the ordinance to accept the Ethics Commission off the table.
Okay. Second, I got it. Go ahead, rest of you vote, please. Okay, item number 6, unanimous approved. Thank you. And before we go to the next one, I would like to say thank you, Suzanne Norris, Linda Thompson, liaison, and good job. This city needs that, but the main thing I just remind all the council and all the employee, you need to keep this. Read them again. Go ahead, discard. Thompson. I can hear you.
Unmute.
Walter, go ahead, sir.
Walter, was on first.
Yeah, I would like to make a motion that we approve ordinance Oscar -2020-010-01 on the first reading of the Haltom City Ethics Commission.
First reading.
Yes, first reading.
Thank you.
That's for second.
Okay, we got second. Thank you, Thompson. Please, Judge, you vote.
Well, I think Councilwoman Thompson wants to say something.
Linda, you're on mute.
I know. What
Okay.
I was going to ask is that the motion be made with the addition of the statement in section 2 on page 6. It's section 2-453. Oops. Excuse me, I'm wrong. It's section 2.
How about if we just amend my ordinance that we clean up the city secretary and authorized individuals in the entire ordinance?
Thank you.
So by the second reading that we would have the cleaned up ordinance.
It's okay, Council Thompson? Good. Okay, and
Marion, you second that motion, Marion?
Marianne,
I did, and it's
go ahead,
okay.
Treasurer, you vote, please. Okay, item number 5, unanimous approved. Now we go to number 6, continuation of declaration of the public health emergency. Ms. Farrell, go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. The last time we had extended the declaration for 30 days, that declaration will be up before the next council meeting or that time limit. So what we've done is we've extended that another 30 days or until the Tarrant County declaration executive order expires. And Wayne, you may want to use some language here if I didn't get all that out right.
No, I think you said that correctly, Rex.
Any question or comment? I see none. Go ahead. This item ready for motion.
Walter.
Grow, sir.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve resolution Romeo-2020-015-01 for the continuation of the declaration of public health emergency.
Thank you, sir. And Susan Saul, ma'am.
Thank you, Mayor. That's for a second.
We got the second. Leadership, you vote now. Yet. This item number 6, unanimous approved. Thank you, Council. And we don't have any city report, staff report. Rex, you have? Okay, future agenda item. You have anything you want to put on the next one? I see none. And resignation of board commission committee members. Anyone resign? No. How about number 10, reappoint of board commission and committee? I see none. Nobody absent. And executive, Wayne, no more executive session tonight?
No, sir.
Okay, and we did have executive session early, but we have nothing to make decision tonight. So that's it. And Council, you have any question? If not, I have to say goodbye, and I adjourn the meeting at the 7:28. Thank you so much. I know it's hard. Look here, confusing. But, thank you so much. I hope
Thank you.
the next.
Mayor, don't forget to come by and sign the documents.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. All have a good evening.
Yeah.
You too.